I went for the platinum in every single Life is Strange games from the first one till the last one, and this is how it went. Let's go. First things first, we start with Life is Strange 1. Sadly enough, I do not have any footage of this game. The reason for that is that I already got the platinum when I started like this series. This game was actually pretty amazing. I love the character Max, and I love everything that happened in this game. The bond with Chloe and everything in it. The only thing that I still have left in this game or from this game is basically my platinum footage or how I got the platinum. This game was absolutely amazing. I love how this game actually teaches you a little bit, like somebody that you trust or somebody that has been teaching you can be somebody bad. So yeah, this game was overall very good, and I would give this one a 9 out of 10. But yet again, I'm very sorry that I did not have any more footage of the first game from Life is Strange, even though it was the greatest. Now we're gonna go and jump on to the one that we've been streaming, Life is Strange 2. The thing is, with this game, I loved it to bits. This game was awesome. And yeah, first things first, we're gonna start off with the first episode where we have to draw like well, the things that we see, and I must be honest, like drawing in this game was amazing. The collectibles as well were like very fun to look for, even though I looked a little bit for a guide into all of that. But the thing was, even though when like following a guide, you had always like a little bit of a story perspective everywhere. Like you could learn new stuff, new things everywhere a little bit, and it was so fun. But anyways, what happened into the story? You are living with your brother Daniel, and all of a sudden there was like a little bit of an incident outside, and something happened with your father that you had to run away from home. And then a little bit later on, we run into the forest, and we are basically camping outside because the cops are looking for us, and that's where we find our first collectible. I'm not going to, by the way, show every single collectible that we have picked up, and there are guides for that, but a little bit, I'm just a little bit telling you how my story went and how everything went and how I got the plan towards the end. So after sleeping a whole night into the forest, we come a little bit further into like some sort of gas station or gasoline station, whatever you want to call it, and there is like a little bit of bears, and there's like a little bit of a dog, and Daniel like really loves the dog, and he's like, can we take him? But then it's like, no, it's not possible because we're camping and all that stuff. But then a little bit later, we have a little bit of a problem into the shop itself. Like the guy has been seeing us on the news, and he calls the cops on us, and he kind of like locks us up a little bit into the gas station. So what we do then is, well, we try to escape with the help of Daniel, and well, we ran away then back into the forest, and with that dude who helped us out, that was into the shop. He also gave us like a little bit of a room in that night, and then we discovered that Daniel has actually special powers. And with those special powers, you can like move or elevate things and push things, like some kind of force power that can see into Star Wars. And that rounds up a little bit like the first episode, where you get to learn a little bit of the characters. Into the second episode, we started immediately with drawing, and well, look at this beautiful landscape. This was literally amazing. You're also here with the dog because once we escaped from that shop, we picked actually the little dog with us, and we had a little bit of a new friend that came along with us as well. So it was really amazing to have that dog. But a little bit later, something happened, sadly enough, with the dog, and then, he passes away as well. It's kind of like a very sad moment because I really loved the little pupper that you could take with us. After that happened, we couldn't stay anymore into that house where we drew the sketch. So then we walked all the way to our grandparents, which are basically the parents of their mother. There was like a little bit of a friendly neighbor who also lost his wife a couple of years ago, and well, Daniel and the little guy from the neighbors, well, became pretty much friends. Daniel even shows his power to the little bit of a little dude, but the little dude thinks that actually he has the powers and Daniel hasn't. But then, yeah, he kind of like still has to keep it secret from his brother. Later on, we go and went to buy a Christmas tree because it's like the Christmas festive, and we come along a bunch of friendly peeps. The thing is, you played a little bit of guitar with another dude, and well, they were very, very cool peeps, and I really wanted to like get to know them more. So I was thinking at that point, like, it's kind of sad that we didn't get to meet more of them or see more of them, because I really liked the dude and the girl. It was a nice vibe. So later on, we went back to our grandparents, and we broke kind of into the room of our mother. And well, we tried to look for stuff. Later on, we found a little bit of a letter that said like, I'm over here. This is like my post thingy, but please take care of my boys. Once we found that, the cops actually found out where we were, and we had to run all the way again. Then Daniel used his special power for the cops to go away, and the boy of the neighborhood saw that, and then he was like, I do not have the power, but it was Daniel all along, so he kind of felt maybe a little bit betrayed. So we ran away and we got picked up by some friendly peeps. We went a little bit further into the forest, and there, well, we were kind of like accepted into a little bit of a group, and that group was from the girl and the boy that we saw earlier. It was so amazing to like get to see a little bit more of that story with them, like the bonding with those people. But basically, we're again a little bit runaways, and well, we camped for weeks perhaps into the forest. We also had a little bit of a illegal job at a drug factory, but the cool thing is they also had a cute little dog, and if you go and follow him, like a little bit of a stalker that we are, at some point he like finds something, digs something up, and there is a little bit of a skull for you that you could pick up and, well, grab into your collection. Later on, we went to Daniel to the lake because we had to train a little bit of his powers, but it seems to be that he's been training a little bit behind our back, and that he's became actually pretty strong. He can lift up so many big things at the same time, and he's so strong. It's amazing, but at this point, Daniel started to get a little bit jealous of us, that we were getting along with other people. We also had like a little bit of a romantic moment with the dude, which was actually not planned for me. But I really loved actually still the interaction with the dude and the lady. I've kind of forgot their names, so I'm very sorry. But it was such an amazing moment to have with both of those characters, because I actually like them both. Finn is his name, so we had a little bit of a romantic moment with Finn. And yeah, Finn had the amazing idea to break into the illegal drug place, and that's where we grabbed our last collectible. But later on in the drug place, the boss was actually waiting for us. Something has happened there in that place, and there was some glass into the brothers. I also forgot his name, I'm very sorry. But yeah, then that basically ends the third episode into Life is Strange 2, where there is glass in his eye and Daniel has been has disappeared basically. Then all of a sudden we wake up into the hospital, and of course, well, the cops has already found us, and they've been talking to us, and like, oh, where's Daniel, and oh, where are your other people that have been doing, and have you killed your father, and all that stuff. But well, we find ourselves drawing again, and I drew a stairs because you also had the choice of drawing prison bars, but I am actually like more of a freedom guy. Like, I mean, freedom is very important, and that's why we drew it there. We also got like friendly with a nurse that was working there. Really, it's actually a male nurse, but I don't know what the name is of a male nurse, or is it just like still a nurse? I'm not sure. But at that point, we were going to be taken to juvie, and the thing is that we really didn't want to do that, so we stole his pen and we ran away very far away, as far as we could. Trying to find our brother Daniel. Well, we found where he is due to our, well, a little bit of a book that we have been keeping, and well, we decided to escape. While we were escaping, we came along Finn, and we said like, it's not your fault, it's okay. We forgave him a little bit, and we went on into the desert, where we found a little fox, and that fox was chasing something, so we thought, I'm gonna check it out, and there was again a little bit of a skull hidden there. So yeah, then we came across a friendly trucker, and that trucker said like, do you want to come with me? Or do you want to go like on foot? And it was kind of hot, we were all burned up. So I decided to go with the trucker, and he kind of like drops us off at some kind of weird cult place where we find Daniel. We also find out like our mom, which her name is Karen, and we both try to get Daniel back onto our side, but Daniel doesn't want to at first. So then we go and snoop around into Karen's place, and or not Karen's place, but the lady from the cult place, and kind of sees that Daniel is a little bit seeing the lady from the cult as a mother. But then after his brother like gets beaten up by another dude and almost gets shot, he kind of kills the lady, and well, we're all one big family. And that basically ends episode 4. Then we're going to go on to episode 5, and we are in the canyons. And in those canyons, we have basically been running away back again from the cops, and there we have been, well, relaxing, looking at some nice things, and there we had our last drawing as well, where Daniel wanted us to draw him as a superhero. So then also on the radio was found out that we had to, or that the cops were coming onto our place, so we had to run away to Mexico, and we came across to the border. Once Daniel broke into the border and pushed everything away, well, the cops still, well, got to us and locked us into, well, their place, into the prison. Then we escaped, and, well, at the end we had a little bit of a decision, like, are we going to surrender, or are we just going to go through with it? I decided to surrender, but Daniel was like, no, I don't want to do it. So he drove the car by his own, and then while something happened, sadly enough, we have passed away, and Daniel remains alone as a badass. Overall, this game was amazing. I really loved the story, and it was equally as good as Life is Strange 1. I would definitely give this one a 9 out of 10. This game was amazing. The bond between two brothers is truly cool, and I loved it. I really did, and it was also like a little bit of sad moment. But you have many good endings. I've looked them up, and I think I actually got the worst one. Then we're going to continue with Life is Strange Before the Storm, which was actually a little bit of the prequel of Life is Strange 1. You play as Chloe, the girl that you meet in Life is Strange 1 with Max. But this is a little bit of the backstory of Chloe, like how she became badass. And the thing is, the collectibles here are super cool to do. You have like these graffiti thingies where you can choose always between two options, or most of the time between two options, where you can draw like some funny stuff or serious stuff, but mostly like they're funny options that you can choose. The story starts basically that Chloe wants to go into some kind of illegal party that is happening for a rock band that she is eager to see and play. But into the bar there there's a little bit of trouble because we bump into a guy with a beer, and the beer goes on the floor, and then we kind of came into a little bit of a fight, but we got our way out of the fight, and then we met Rachel. So we kind of had like a fun night, and we went drunk, and we drank a lot, and yada yada yada. And we came back home, and her mother was like, "I shouldn't drink too much outside." So her mother also has like a little bit of a new boyfriend, and we do not get along with that boyfriend a lot. But at this point, we missed our school bus, and it was going to take us into or to school with his car. But because it's like such a mean dude, we draw a bunch of penises onto his toolbox because, well, why not? I mean, he's been a little bit rude and into like this whole part. I really did dislike this man. It was no fun. It was no fun at all. So box of dicks. There we go. So after that, we went to school, and we have a little bit of troubling, because we've been doing like some partying, and everybody's talking about like that we got a punch. But there we came again back with Rachel, and Rachel was like, it's so fun that you're here, and you talk a little bit with Rachel, and have a little bit of a fun moment. And all of a sudden, at some point, Rachel is like, you want to go away? We want to like get away from school. And you're like, hey, let's go. So you jump onto a train, and off you go to like some kind of nice beautiful place with like nice sights and all that stuff, and you came across like this nice statue where you could draw on as well. So we went to that statue, and we draw a little bit of an axe in honor. I was not gonna like make fun of a memorial statue. I mean, that's a little bit rude in my opinion. So we did draw an axe, and then later we went into binoculars seeing with Rachel, and we talked, we laughed, and we had a little bit of fun. After that, something has happened. Rachel kind of freaked out, and we went back to the garbage place, or the junkyard, where Rachel has a little bit of a breakdown, but she doesn't really want to talk about it, and it kind of got Chloe angry. So we started smashing up everything that we could. I smashed up the board, and we smashed up the paint, and once we had done that, there was a little bit of a graffiti thing showing up. So I took the chance to do that and got us another trophy. Later we find out that we see the car of our father there, and we had a little bit of a flashback moment on how the accident happened, because our father has passed away 2 years ago, and it was kind of a sad moment. So yeah, that's also what has happened. Later on, we go back to Rachel, and we had a little bit of a talk. Then there was a little bit of a paper that she wanted to burn with a picture of her parents, I think it was. And she had also some kind of power with screaming, so the fire spread it kinda and became a forest fire, and that ended up with the first episode of Life is Strange Before the Storm. And I really was intrigued into the story. It was very, very amazing how they did this backstory. It was curious. But we are going into episode 2 right now, and it kind of starts with you going to the principal's office, and had a little bit of a talk about what happened last night, and that you got away from school while you had to be in school, and you had two choices: to take the blame or to put it on to Rachel. But I decided to take it to myself, because I really wanted Rachel to do her play, because we were so excited to do her play that I was like, okay, it's me. So we got expelled from school, and after that we had a little bit of a talk with our stepdad, or the boyfriend of our mom. And he was like, put on, empty your pockets, because it was very suspicious of us, but we didn't want to do that, or, I did it anyway, and, we decided to leave home. So at some point, we came into, back again, the junkyard, and there was this old car that we were, kind of bump up, or pimp up, and we did all of that, and, we decided to live into the junkyard. So I did everything there. There was a little bit of a graffiti thing going on there, and, we tried to fix the car. Sadly enough, it didn't start, but later on to the series, it might does. But yeah, then we had a little bit of a flashback moment yet again. Rachel is there with us, and after that, and we have a little bit of talk. Then a little bit later, there's this other dude that kind of we owe money to, because we bought drugs from the dude, and he has a little bit of a job for us. So we're going into his van. He's on the road because he has a little job, and there we find a little bit of a graffiti thing he marked. The thing is, what we had to do was go to another dude that we knew, and it was one of our, the brother of one of our friends. And the dude basically, well, says, this dude still owes me $1,000. So you're going to go into school and you have to steal it back. So we go into the school and we sneak past the security, or, well, actually, he found us, but we were like, yeah, come on, dude, let me in. And he let us in. There we found the money, and all of a sudden you see the brother, but the other dude that came for his money, well, kind of kicked him in the butt. And, well, you had to choose between giving him the money after all or not. And, well, I didn't give him the money. I kind of ran away because we wanted to give the money to the dude that asked us to give the money. So that's what we did. Then, a little bit later well, we still did not give the money, but there was this girl into the game called Victoria. She's also into the first game, and she wanted to drug Rachel so she could take the lead into the play. But after all, we did drug Victoria then, and well, she couldn't play anymore. So Rachel asked us to go into the play for her, and, well, we kind of did. It was not easy for Chloe, I guess, to do it because she doesn't like it. But into the play, it was amazing that you could choose your own choices and a little bit like make it romantic or not. And this moment, I actually decided to like go a little bit into the romantic way with Rachel and saying like that you love her and all that stuff. The play was amazing. Many people clapped, and I actually loved doing the play part. Then we're gonna go on to episode 3, where we go back into our home and, well, we come and grab some stuff. We also dyed our hair into the way that we, well, know Chloe. And, well, then all of a sudden something has happened because Rachel wanted to find out who her real mother is, because that lady that she has been freaking out for after the binocular seeing was her real mom, and, well, her dad has been keeping some kind of secret from her. So the thing is, we knew someone, which was basically the drug dealer, that knew who her real mom was, but Rachel got a little bit angry, and the drug dealer shot her in the stomach, I think it was, and she went to the hospital. So now we are here into the hospital, and we were, well, seeing a little bit of a board. We were drawing all over that place and talked to Rachel about it. But before we went to Rachel, there was like this one dude that was back again into the picture, and it was the brother of the dude that we have, well, that was beaten up basically. So he has basically now a broken leg. What you have to do here is, well, try to eat his pudding a little bit, and then he's like, okay, you can sign my my band here, or not really band, I'm not really sure what it is called, but you sign it and you get another trophy for that. So we went back into the office then and tried to look for some information on where, well, Rachel, her real mother, could be, and we found out that her father has been like hiding some stuff from her, and he has been paying someone, well, who is the drug man, to let her mother be drugged all the time, and that she could not see her real daughter, even though, well, Rachel wanted to see her real mother. So at that point we found out that there was something going on and that the drug lord wanted to drug her mother. So we went into like this abandoned place, and, well, there was our very last collectible of this whole game. So we pushed away the cardboard and marked something with a knife, and that's how everything happened. We had a little bit of a fight there with the drug boss and all that stuff, and it, well, all turned out that the father was responsible for everything that has happened. Now towards the end you can choose if you're gonna tell Rachel the truth or lie to her, and, well, I decided to tell her the truth. Rachel was devastated from all that, and that's basically how that game ends. This game was amazing. This very much felt like a little bit of a DLC, but it was such an amazing story how everything went, and you learned so much more about Chloe. This was definitely an 8 out of 10. I loved this game, and it was really amazing. If I could play it again, I would definitely do it, because this really adds up with, well, the first game, Life is Strange, where something happens to Rachel, but you're gonna have to, well, see some other playthrough for that, I'm afraid. So now we're gonna go on into the very last game that we still have to play, which is Life is Strange True Colors. So we start basically this game playing as Alex. Alex is a girl that has a little bit of a rougher backstory with her brother Gabe. And her brother Gabe has asked her to go and live with her into this very new town that he has been living in like for a couple of weeks now, or months, I'm not really sure. Alex has also like a very special superpower, which is reading the emotions of people or objects. So she can like see anger, happiness, scaredness, sadness, all of that stuff, and she can also like control the emotions of other people or see what they're scared of, afraid of, and try to help them out. Now the thing is, her brother Gabe has been like having some meetings with another lady, and all of a sudden there's this other dude. That's how you knew that you had some special powers. But her brother Gabe lived above in a bar. and worked in a bar as well. So now we are here as well into this game and going into the bar. The thing is with this game, the collectibles are so close with each other. It was a little bit less fun because in the other games you have like collectible, a little bit of story, collectible, a little bit of story. But in this one, it was just like so much collectibles. Like in one go, you just had to go outside and you basically had already 50% of all the collectibles or 70%. There's only like 15 collectibles within each part. Then you have this boy called Ethan, which is basically like some sort of son to Gabe, your brother, and he went missing because he has a little bit of a comic book that he's been drawing on his own, and basically you found out that the comic book that he's been drawing has always came from this weird abandoned stuff, but Ethan has not returned, and you started to look out for him. He was kind of stuck between a tree and a cliff, so we decided to save him, but then there was an explosion and a rock hit your brother Gabe. Sadly enough, he passed away, and that is basically how the first episode ends. I must say that in this game there were like not that many episodes that gave me a lot of like intel on characters, on the story itself. So yeah, I was a little bit disappointed like that it basically just ends very roughly and not really into like some sort of positive thing, but always like into some weird cliffhanger that has not really something to do with sometimes with the game. So we're gonna go on into episode 2, and in this episode, well, yet again you have a lot of collectibles, but it's just like going through the street that is basically always coming back and back in every episode. And well, grabbing every collectible. It only took me 20 minutes to grab everything in story mode itself, but if you go just back into the game and if you just beat the game normally without getting every single collectible, you can get every single collectible just in 5 minutes. So in this episode, you just go and talk a little bit to everybody about what happened with Alex herself. I didn't get the feeling that she has been having some kind of sadness into her because of her brother died. Her character is kind of like a little bit emotionless in my opinion, but there is this girl called Rachel, and we tried to have like a little bit of a emotional thingy going on with her, like a little bit of a relationship. But well, first we go and downstairs and try to collect every single collectible that there was. So we talked to everybody, and at some point we talked to the mother of Ethan, and she was talking like, oh, I got some money from the government and all that stuff because your brother passed away, but I think the money should be better for Ethan or for Gabe, and you can choose, but I choose Ethan because, well, I mean, it was for me more important that Ethan had like a nice education and all that stuff, so it was very good. Then we went to the flower store, and there was like a little bit of you mean a woman who has a little bit of dementia, and you try to help her out what happened and what she was doing. So then you start to go to the guy that everybody thinks that is responsible for the explosion, and then that guy's like, I didn't do it. Well, actually I did do it a little bit, and then he explains how everything went. That he tried to stop the explosion, but then, well, that they said no, and they went continuing with it anyway. So at some point he has like a very much of a scared vibe going around with him. You have the option to save him or not. At the end I decided like not to save him because I was like, I felt like he could have done more to stop everything and not just like, oh, stop it, and then didn't do anything with that. So yeah, I kind of like did blame him for the death. After that, there was a little bit of a memorial for Gabe, and everybody was happy besides one person, which was from the company that is responsible for the explosion. She was a little bit of having a scary vibe, or a scared vibe, and well, that's basically how the second episode ends, with, well, that lady being a little bit suspicious of us, while everybody's having a happy or a joyful moment. And with that, also Alex found out that there is something called a emotion that is happy. And well, all the collectibles that you find after that are basically almost always happy. So we dive into episode 3, and this episode, well, Ethan has been having apparently a little bit of a rough time, even though you haven't seen the kid anymore since episode 1. That you had to rescue him. So Rachel was feeling a little bit sad for him, and she made up a little bit of a cosplay thingy for him out of his comic book. So she wants us to become the bard from his journey. So later we go with Ethan into like the whole street, and we talked about stuff and all that thingies to make him feel better. Then you have Ryan, who is cosplaying as a little bit of everything, like bosses. You have a little bit of fights and everywhere that you can do, like old school games. In my opinion, this episode brought like no lore into this game. It was just like a little bit of, well, role playing that you had to do through the whole game itself. And well, yeah, towards the end, we snaggled a little bit of a computer together. We found out that there is a second explosion that has happened at the same time Gabe was in that explosion, and that something wasn't really right. So Alex decided to look a little bit more into that, and found out that it was all along somebody that you was not really expecting, that was a little bit how do you say it? I forgot my word here for a second. That was responsible for everything that has happened. Well, he found out. He pointed a gun at Alex. Well, I still do know his name, and I'm gonna wait until then, the scene pops up. To shot Alex, and well, she went down, and that's basically how the 4th episode ends. Here you can see basically that we found out every information about the well, whole explosion thingy. While Ethan had actually an amazing day because he had like some kind of hard boss fight towards the end, and it was, well, it was kind of weird. This whole episode, it was basically 1 hour and a half cosplaying and then 10 minutes of lore. So that has happened, and then we walk into the 4th episode. This one was only 40 minutes long. It was super short in my opinion, and well, every year apparently there is like this festive place into or this festival into town. We were invited, and yeah, we went there all along. When we were there, like you had a little bit of a man who was counting jelly beans, and you have to help him out by reading his mind, meaning reading the mind of the lady that is doing the conquest or the contest. And well, once you guess the right amount, you get also a trophy for that. While talking to Ryan, he said like, there's going to be like a little bit of a concert here, but you have to do it. And there was like a very cool song, to be honest. I was not expecting that there were songs that I knew that were going to be into the game, but Blister in the Sun was such an amazing song to this game, and that was actually something very positive after some negative things. Here you can see that we were running across the street again for going for our last collectible from this episode. In this episode, like the collectibles were just almost all in one place, and it was kind of like a little bit boring at some point because you just go and collect everything, and then you have like 10 minutes of lore back again into the characters, into the stuff that happened. So yeah, at the end of the night we went to Jeb, the dude from the tavern. We went to talk about like what we figured out, because we had the stick and we gave it to the cops, and the cops were like, oh no, you can't we can't take that and all that stuff. So it was a little bit suspicious of us, and we had to sign a contract. We had the decision to not sign it or to sign it. We did sign it, but then, well, Jeb was like, I'm going to show you what happened, and then he shoots us. So he was the one that has been responsible for everything that has happened. And that is how we move on immediately into episode 5. And in episode 5 it kind of starts weirdly, because you have all these like kind of weird visions from back in the day when your mother has passed away, your mom has passed away from cancer, and while you're here with your brother and your dad talking about like how you took care of your mother and how she has passed away and all the sad things that has happened, like how the dad and the brother started fighting at some point, and the father had like a little bit of a bad bond with them, and at some point they got in a fight, and he hit Alex, the dad, and the dad decided like to leave their house because he kind of felt bad for everybody, and he decided to like pick up a new life. So after that, Alex and Gabe went into some kind of home for children. Gabe was, well, a little bit older than Alex, so he got out of the home, and he went like stealing someone's car, so he went to juvie for that, while a few years later he went out and he decided to, well, re-pick up his life. Then that's what basically happened, and he went to make a family with Alex, because that's when he invited her to come to the town where we are right now. So we woke up into the mine and realized it was all a dream, and into the mines we found a picture of our father, meaning that he has passed away as well, all due to Jep and the explosion that has happened, because there was a flooding and 7 people died there. And it was, well, kind of a sad moment, because we found out that Jep was the one that was responsible for other people, their deaths as well. So we went back into the cafe and well, said like to everybody that Jeb was the one who did it, but everybody like was like, no, we don't believe you, besides Rachel. And well, after talking to Jeb and where everybody was with them, Jeb confessed everything, and well, that's basically the end. Everything is happily ever after. Later on we got a little bit of a happy relationship with Rachel, and yeah, we went out of town and, well, went on with my life. This game overall, guys, I really didn't like this one. This was pretty poop. There was basically almost no lore with the characters and all that stuff, so overall I would give this one a 4 out of 10. This was it, guys. We platinumed every single Life is Strange game, so thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next trophy video or stream, or I don't know, but thank you all for watching, and goodbye.